You won't believe what's happening. South Africans are absolutely shocked by Nigeria's new immigration policy, and trust me, this one has everyone talking.
Let me tell you this, it's part of the new visa policy, all right? Because part of what we're doing is to automate your landing and your exit card. Remember that the last time you came into Nigeria, you know that when you're coming, almost when you're about getting in here, they'll distribute land to foreigners, and people will be looking for buyers. We are saying no more paperwork. So we are digitalizing that and automating it. So once you come, the is less than 1-2 minutes for you to sort that out. So that because there will be institutional memory, and we don't need to be keeping paper and all that. So once you come, automatically that has a QR code, it has a barcode and all the features. Once it comes, it's scanned, bam. So there's an activation of a counter. So if you want to, by the time you want to leave, you need an embarkation card in line with the Immigration Act 2015. So automatically, if you have overstayed, we spoke about it today, and that's why I'm so grateful to the diplomatic corps. They were all there today, most representatives of most embassies, because we showed them
so
the
this
way
will
it was.
Deal with the issue of illegal
Yes, overstayers, and of course there are now penalties. And we told them there will be 3 lists. There's a white list, there's a grey list, and a black list.
Can you tell us more about that and the penalties?
Yeah, for instance, the white list is, of course, you obey our laws. Of course, next time you want to come, you have that access because you're a frequent traveler and we don't have anything. But if it's a grey list, once there are infractions, and obviously per day there's a penalty that we say we're going to put, which is going to take effect from I think August 1, which is about $15 per day, and if you overstay for more than 3 months, then we can ban you for 5 years. Then if you overstay for 1 year, you can't tell me it's a mistake overstaying in my country for 1 year, then we will ban you for 10 years. Right? So we are trying to put this, as I said, we are open to business. That we are open to open our space for people to see the beauty of our country. But that is with due respect, so far you obey the immigration laws.
It's making waves across social media, sparking debates on the streets, and even raising a few eyebrows in diplomatic circles. Here's how it works. Go to the Nigeria Immigration Service website and fill out the application. Pay the visa fee, which can be anywhere from $60 to $150, depending on where you're from. Wait for 24 to 48 hours for approval. Yes, it's fast, but don't push your luck by booking a flight before confirmation. Get your e-visa and print it out. Nigeria is digital, but don't assume they won't ask for a hard copy. Always have one. Okay, so how long are you actually allowed to stay in Nigeria? Tourist visas. You get 90 days, 3 months to enjoy the sights, sounds, and street food. Business visas. The duration depends on your business dealings and agreements, but don't assume you can just chill indefinitely. But here's where things get real, because Nigeria is not playing with overstayers. Overstaying in Nigeria used to be a slap on the wrist situation, but now, they're bringing down the hammer. Overstay by up to 3 months, banned for 5 years. That means no more quick trips, no business deals, nothing. Overstay for over a year. Congratulations, you've just earned yourself a 10-year ban. 10. By the time you return, Afrobeats will probably have a new king. And don't think you can just slide under the radar. Immigration is cracking down, and they're actively looking for people who overstay. Illegal immigrants in Nigeria, your time is up. Starting August 1, 2025, the Nigerian Immigration Service is launching a full-scale operation to identify and deport anyone who doesn't have the right papers. If you're caught, expect deportation, legal action, and a red stamp on your record that could affect travel to other countries. If you think you can dodge the system, just remember, Nigeria is one of the most tech-savvy countries in Africa. Their immigration database, tight. You overstay, they'll know. Now, before we get into all the drama, let's take a step back. South Africa and Nigeria have always had a complicated relationship. On one hand, they're two of Africa's biggest economies, powerhouses on the continent. But on the other hand, they've had their fair share of tensions, particularly when it comes to immigration and economic dominance. For years, South Africa has had a reputation for being tough on Nigerian immigrants. There have been numerous reports of visa restrictions, deportations, and let's not forget the xenophobic attacks that have made headlines worldwide. Nigerian traders and professionals have often complained about how difficult it is to live and work in South Africa, despite the fact that Nigeria played a key role in the fight against apartheid. But now, it looks like Nigeria is flipping the script. With this new policy, South Africans are finding themselves on the receiving end of tighter immigration laws. And let's be honest, many people didn't see this coming. Some South Africans are saying, wait a minute, this isn't fair. While others are seeing it as karma finally coming full circle. Take for example the case of South African entrepreneurs who've been doing business in Nigeria for years. Many of them are now struggling to renew their work permits, facing long delays and, in some cases, outright denials. Nigerian authorities are arguing that they want to prioritize their own citizens for job opportunities, a sentiment that sounds eerily familiar to what South Africans have been saying about foreign workers in their own country. But the real shocker here is the financial impact. The increased visa fees alone are enough to make anyone sweat. Some South Africans who travel frequently for business are now reconsidering their options. Airlines, tourism industries, and even multinational corporations are all feeling the ripple effects. And then there's the political angle. Many are speculating whether this move is a response to years of diplomatic tensions. Some analysts believe Nigeria is sending a clear message. If you make it hard for our people, we can do the same for yours. And let's be real, in the world of international relations, no move is ever made without a reason. But how are South Africans reacting? Well, let's just say, social media is on fire. Some people are outraged, calling it an unnecessary escalation of tensions between two African giants. Others are cracking jokes, saying, "Welcome to our world, South Africa." Some Nigerian commentators are even reminding South Africans of how they've treated immigrants in the past, saying, "How does it feel now?" Of course, the South African government is trying to play it cool. Officials have stated that they respect Nigeria's decision and are working on diplomatic solutions. But behind closed doors, you can bet that there are some very serious discussions happening. And let's not forget about ordinary South Africans who have lived in Nigeria for years. Many of them are now uncertain about their future. Some expats have built businesses, started families, and created lives in Nigeria. But with these new restrictions, they're feeling the heat. Will they be forced to pack up and leave? Or will Nigeria eventually soften its stance? At the end of the day, this whole situation raises a much bigger question: what does this mean for African unity? For years, we've heard leaders preach about the importance of intra-African cooperation, free trade, and stronger ties between African nations. But when immigration policies start creating barriers instead of bridges, it makes you wonder, are we really moving towards a more united Africa, or are we just finding new ways to draw lines in the sand? One thing's for sure, this isn't the end of the story. We'll be keeping a close eye on how this unfolds, whether the two governments can find common ground, and most importantly, how this will affect everyday people just trying to live their lives. So, what do you think? Is Nigeria right to tighten its immigration policies? Is South Africa finally getting a taste of its own medicine? Or is this just another diplomatic headache that could have been avoided? Let's get the conversation going in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates on this developing story.